Oh, what is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. I actually had another video for you guys, and this may split up. Hopefully not. Doesn't look like it is quite yet. I'm doing it again on StreamYard because OBS has been giving me trouble now today. Maybe I got to delete some things on my computer. I don't know. But the video seems to be going good as of now. I had another video done for you guys that I will upload tomorrow about Brian Daboll. I think it's a good video. I think it's a good topic. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Talking about Daboll, the coach of the year, and kind of comparing his start to Judge. Obviously, we were all really excited about Joe Judge's start too as a coach, but I really wanted to talk about why I truly believe this is a much different beginning, and why I think he's going to be the long-term answer for the New York Giants. And I truly believe that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Because that's all I do on my channel. I share my opinions. I never claim to be some incredible expert. I'm a fan, just like everybody else. And I try to give you guys what I hope is a well-informed opinion. Sometimes you're going to agree with me, sometimes you're not. And you may agree or disagree with my opinion today on Kadarius Toney and to why I shared what I did on Twitter today and the reasoning as to why I did it. Listen, if I'm going to share an opinion on my platform, I always want you guys to have the evidence that I have. And I will never, and I promise you this, I will never put myself above the New York Giants football team. I've always gone above and beyond not to do that. It's why I never shared this information about Toney until such time he was traded from the New York Giants. And it would have never seen the light of day had he not been traded from the New York Giants, had he had a great career with the Giants, and I would have forgotten about it. But for the opinion that I'm going to share about Kadarius Toney, I think you guys need to be aware of what I'm aware of in terms of what he sent me. I'm also going to share a lot of the things that he shared on Twitter after the trade today, because I think it has to be said. There has to be context to why the New York Giants may have made this trade. Listen, we all know that Kadarius Toney's a talented football player. We all know that he has a very high ceiling. There's a reason he went 20th overall. There's a reason that a lot of people felt like he could fit this offense very well. There's a reason that he had a 170-yard game against or whatever it was. I think it was a 184-yard game against the Dallas Cowboys, which accounted for almost half of his career yards. But listen, at the end of the day, he didn't do much as a New York Giant. And it's not all his fault. He had injury problems, and maybe he wasn't hurt, like he said on Twitter. If you want to take him at his word. And if he is telling the truth, I'm even happier he's not a New York Giant. One thing I want to stress, though, is we have to realize as fans that this is no longer Dave Gettleman's team. We have to realize as fans that this is Joe Schoen's show, that this is Brian Daboll's show. And they're going to paint their canvas the way that they want to paint it. If they identify certain players that they don't feel are in the best long-term interest of this football team, whether it be due to scheme fit, whether it be due to contract, whatever it may be, that includes Daniel Jones, that includes Saquon Barkley, I'm going to give these guys an opportunity to build their team. Now, I don't think and know if that'll be the case at the end of the year with those two individuals that I talked about. But if they decide to do that, I'm going to at least give them their opportunity to make their moves and build this team in their vision. Now, the Giants are up to a 6-1 start, and a lot of people after this trade may feel, by the way, I should have mentioned at the top of it, I'm going to be live. I'm going to be on Mike's channel at 6. I'm going to be on Patricia Traina's channel at 7:30, and then I'm going to be on Bad Dog's channel late tonight at 10. So I'll be talking a ton about this on other platforms today, but I really wanted to get my own individual video out on it. But as far as Toney goes, people are going to have their own opinions, but we have to give these guys the opportunity to build their team. Sometimes you're going to agree with some of the things they do. Sometimes you're not, but we have to at least let it play out and see where it goes. I think a lot of Giants fans are for this, though. I think a lot of Giants fans saw this. There was writing on the wall at the beginning of the year before the year started. Several reporters talked about how there were rumors, and I talked to Bobby. Bobby said that he also heard from behind the scenes that there was a good chance that the New York Giants, if the right deal was there, could look to move on from Toney. And they did. They elected to move on. And I think in the end, it was inevitable. It was probably going to happen after I heard a lot of the things that I did from behind the scenes. And I'm glad that the New York Giants were able to get something for him. We'll talk about exactly what they got for him, and hopefully they can replace him, and hopefully they can do great things with him. Now, maybe Kadarius Toney will be super successful with the Kansas City Chiefs. You couldn't have gone to a much better situation. And if he stays on the field healthy, I'm sure he will. You got Pat Mahomes. We all know that he's an explosive wide receiver. You got Andy Reid. He will do well there if he could stay healthy. Probably would have done well here if he could have stayed healthy. He's a good prospect in terms of his talent. The only question for me was always, could he stay on the field? He had injury problems with Florida. He had injury problems with the New York Giants. I wish him nothing but the best. I hope he does great wherever he goes, because it really doesn't matter to me, because I don't think he was going to do great here. I'm going to trust Brian Daboll's evaluation. Brian Daboll thus far is this team at 6-1. A lot of people question his decision-making in terms of electing to go with O'Shane Ximines over Quincy Roche at the beginning of the year. People aren't questioning that anymore. A lot of people question his decision to cut Blake Martinez before the year started. A lot of people aren't questioning that anymore. A lot of people question James Bradbury. People aren't really questioning that anymore. That was more salary cap thing with Joe Schoen. I think they wanted to keep him if they could have. But my point is, there's going to be things that they do that kind of makes you question yourself. But I think Brian Daboll has set the standard that they're going to play the players that they feel best fit what they're looking to do. And obviously, they don't feel that Kadarius Toney fits what they're looking to do. Whatever the reason it may be, that's up for you to interpret. That's up for you to come to your own conclusions or speculate. We're never going to hear the real answer. And Brian Dable was asked about it, and I'll show you guys exactly what he said. In terms of the trade itself, this come out from Giants Wire. Wanted to give them a quick shout out. They said some kind words about me on Twitter. So thank you for that. The New York Giants have traded the 2021 first-round pick to the Kansas City Chiefs in exchange for a pair of draft picks, a compensatory third-round pick, and a sixth-round pick in the 2023 draft. So a compensatory pick is basically where Matt Parrott was drafted, which was 99th overall. We got that in the when we let Landon Collins walk. So a late third-round pick, about 100th overall, that's what we get, plus the sixth-round pick. And you couldn't have expected to get much more. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, he has talent, but talent has to show out, and he has not done that. He's got 400 career receiving yards with one less touchdown than Andrew Thomas. So the results are not there, and he has had an injury history. So I think we got more than fair, probably draft compensation for him, if I'm being completely honest with you, based off of his career. He's going to be entering year 3 next year. Hasn't done much in the NFL quite yet. And then this is what Brian Dable had to say about the trade. I thought it was what was best for the team. Head coach Brian Dable said, "We wish Kadarius well." Short, sweet, to the point. In terms of what Toney had to say after the trade, when he got traded to the Chiefs, a lot of times when players get traded, of course, they're going to voice how excited they are to play for their new team, as they should. I mean, what team would you rather go to than to play with Pat Mahomes? But a lot of times they'll come out and say, "Thank you for the opportunity. I'm so glad that the New York Giants drafted me 20th overall, gave me the opportunity to play in the NFL." And he's entitled to say whatever he wants. This is what he had to say. "Chiefs Kingdom, baby," with a heart and a prayer sign. "Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, God." As if to imply, I can't wait to get out of this team that's 6-1, that's starting to look like they're trending in the right direction. Not a good fit for me. That's all well and good. Best of luck to you, Kadarius Toney. The New York Giants obviously felt like you were not in the best long-term interest of this football team. And best of luck to you. We'll see how you do with the Kansas City Chiefs. But he obviously was happy. This was a tweet he made. I got this from License Plate Guy. This was a tweet he posted before he deleted it. And I think he was responding to me. And maybe I'm just speculating because I'm going to show you the tweet that I posted and that he sent me. Kadarius Toney. This was after missing the last 5 games with a hamstring injury. Kadarius Toney sent this tweet following his trade to the Chiefs. That joke would have been funny because it was a joke that I sent. I tried to make you guys laugh. If I was actually hurt still, LOL. Irrelevant people don't get updates. What makes it even worse, in my opinion, in terms of the way that he responded before I show you guys this message, I fully recognize I'm an irrelevant person. I'm not a member of the media. I'm a fan, just like everybody else. I share my opinion. So it makes you look more, and I'm not trying to even insult you, but it makes my belief of you that I don't think you're built to play in New York even stronger. The fact that you acknowledge that I'm an irrelevant person and you felt the need in a tweet that I did not even at you in a tweet that I didn't even think I was being derogatory in, you felt the need to message me directly, privately, and this is something that I would have never released had you still been a Giant. This is 6 weeks ago. Never posted it publicly. The only reason I posted it was to give you guys evidence as to why I have the opinion that I have, that I don't think you were ever built to play in New York, that I think you are mentally soft. New York's not for everybody. We've seen several athletes come here and fail. It's not for you. This was the tweet that I posted, and then he responded. Kadarius Toney and injuries go together like peanut butter and jelly. That was the joke. This dates back to college. I'm rooting for the guy and think he can make an impact when on the field, but this guy needs to find a way to stay on it. In no way did I call him soft. In no way did I bash him for the injuries. I guess, to be fair, I could understand why somebody would take it that way. So if he's upset, he's upset. Fine. It's just weird to me that he felt the need to go out of his way to private message me on Twitter and say, "Cap dummy, go find something safe to do." And I don't take offense to that. I laughed about it. I shared it with like 4 of the YouTubers. Never expressed it publicly, but the impression that I got about that when I saw it, this guy's mentally soft. This guy is not built to play in New York. That was my honest to God initial reaction when I read that. Didn't care that he insulted me. It is what it is. I get insulted every day on Twitter. I'm on social media. You get used to it after a while. And listen, he's entitled to his opinion. And as far as me being soft, I don't claim to be this tough guy. You don't see me going trying to strap on the pads and play with 200-pound men. I don't get paid to do that. You do. You elected for that profession. And I'm not even critiquing you in the sense of calling you soft. I'm just saying that you play in a sport where you have to stay healthy. You have to stay on the field. And it's unfortunate that you haven't been able to do so. That was it. But I wanted to share that because maybe it'll make you guys feel a little bit better that if he takes offense and feels the need to go out of his way to send me a DM, the fact that I just pointed out the obvious, that he's been hurt, if he's that mentally soft, and that's the way I interpret it, maybe you don't if you're watching this video, He's probably not built to play in New York, because you're going to hear a lot worse than that when it comes to the New York Giants, whether it be from the media, whether it be from fans. So in the end, I think it was probably in the best interest for the New York Giants to move on from Kadarius Toney. And obviously Brian Daboll did too. And I'm going to trust Brian Daboll. And I like where this New York Giants team is headed. We'll see how they look to replace Toney. Will it be somebody in season this year, or will they wait until the draft? But obviously that is now even more of a need for the New York Giants, the wide receiver position, whether it be this year or in the future. It's something that they're going to have to address big time. And I'm sure Daniel Jones is, saying to himself, okay, now get me some help. We'll see if the New York Giants are able to do that before the trade deadline. It's like 2 weeks away. But if they don't, expect them, like I said, to attack that heavily next year. But just remember, guys, this is their show. Toney was not their guy. They didn't like him in terms of the fit. They may have loved him personally. They didn't like him in terms of the fit for this football team. It is what it is. And we don't know what goes on behind the scenes in that New York Giants locker room. But that was the only reason why I sent that tweet. It wasn't because I was trying to gain exposure. If I was trying to gain exposure, I would have posted the day he sent me it 6 weeks ago. I wasn't looking to get into Twitter beefs. I was trying to give you guys evidence as to why, to make you maybe feel better about this trade than you initially did. That was the only reasoning behind it. And I don't think Toney was built to play in New York. I don't care what he says. I don't care what his supporters say. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. As always, guys, if you like what you watch, please subscribe. Drop a comment. Maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.